turkey legs for her church choir. Her
I know
quartet.
you like. Are you serious?
Her quartet selling turkey
Your
legs.
face is a fool. See, and she called in to let the listeners know.
Yeah, we were talking about
How much
something.
was the turkey legs?
How did we get into the turkey legs yesterday? They're $18.
$18?
$20.
Is that coming with macaroni and cheese?
Yeah. It's a whole dinner.
Oh, it's a dinner. Yeah. Debo just said turkey legs.
No, smothered it.
Smothered turkey legs.
Smothered.
Yeah, they smothered.
With the gravy?
Yeah.
I don't want that. What?
Don't be too sure now.
The way that the people did it out at Granville.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
The lady did them smoked turkey legs with macaroni and cheese. And that was the most amazing dish on earth.
You found the one you partook of my dish that I ate out of for 2 days.
I knew you was gonna bring that up.
No, because I still see the guy, so I still get him.
Let me give Keith Parris his show.
Keith,
so I don't have to be subjective.
She doesn't believe that we were talking about the turkey leg dinners yesterday.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody. Michelle, thank you for covering for me this morning.
Not a problem.
A whole minute and a half.
iPad in the car, man. But that's what I had to run out for. She's calling now.
Turn your phone around.
She's calling now.
That's the turkey leg dinner, lady.
Around so you got straight.
I can see it.
Hey. I know you ain't pointing at me.
I know you ain't pointing at me.
I know you ain't pointing at me.
I know y'all on camera, right?
Mama.
I'm just saying.
She pointed at me.
Y'all on camera now. Just be nice now.
Is this the turkey leg lady?
Yes, it is.
Caller, welcome to the program.
This is Mother Turkey Leg Lady. This is Mama Debbie Youngblood.
All right, Mama Debbie Youngblood.
Yes, indeed.
Explain that to Michelle for me, please.
Huh?
I said, explain that to Michelle for me.
What's going on?
Sure
Where do I get turkey legs from?
Mother Turkey Leg Dinner, and it comes the size of greens, mac and cheese, potato salad, cornbread, your choice of slice of not sweet potato pie. So y'all got me mixed up here. Slice of pie or cake, and then your choice of water or soda. So that's all for $20.
I thought they said 18. It done went up $2.
20.
And
everyone is saying that they think that that's pretty cheap for all I'm adding in for the size.
And what is this benefiting?
This is benefiting the Anointed Gospel Singers of Milwaukee. I'm getting an echo here, and I got my radio off. The Anointed Gospel Singers of Milwaukee for our traveling expenses, because we have an event that we're going to go to, and we have an event coming up in October that we want to invite some people from St. Louis and Minnesota.
Are you in the choir?
I am in a church choir, but this is not concerning my church.
Okay.
It's concerning the Anointed Gospel Singers of Milwaukee.
No. The only reason I was asking because I could tell by your voice that you could sing.
Tell her what you told me yesterday. You the owner, and because I ain't gonna tell Michelle how I met you in the basement. We ain't gonna talk about that part.
You might as well. You done said it.
In the basement.
Yes,
just let her mind. Inquiring minds want to know. Just leave it just like that.
Like that.
Just like that. Just leave it just like that.
But Michelle, it was all good though.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But yes, I am a lead singer and manager, president of my singing group, gospel singing group.
So you're not the oldest of the group.
Might as well. I'm almost the oldest. You know what? Come to think of it, I am the oldest in this
Not
group.
the oldest, the oldest.
No, he's talking about like Otis.
Oldest
of the Temptations.
Of the Temptations.
Oh, well, yeah, a little bit further than that, but okay.
Wow.
You all done got me started this morning. But check this out. Is Keith in there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I did send that menu to you and Debo.
Okay.
So I don't know if you all got it or not.
Would you say, how did you send it? By pigeon, or how'd you send it?
Well, I'm literally
Carmen, go
on
check
cell
the
phone,
pigeons.
but I sent it to a text or a message, one of them.
Whose number did you send it to?
To 444-5250.
Oh, that's not.
No, we didn't get that.
We didn't get that.
Yeah, you sent it to a landline.
You sent it to a
You sent it to the
landline.
radio station phone.
Oh, that's how they go.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm illiterate on stuff like that. But so, by me sending it this way, how could anybody get it from the radio station?
You can email it.
I hate to say I'm illiterate on that.
Oh boy, sorry about that.
Give her my phone number and tell her to send it to me.
Oh,
send it to
no,
Michelle.
but I'm planning on getting out, and I can probably drop it off. I can drop it off to you guys.
Yeah, drop it off by the station here because there may be other staff members who may want to get a dinner as well.
Yeah, because I need to know that because I am.
You kind of doing pre-orders?
Doing tickets. Yes, I'm doing the pre-orders.
Yes.
And I was going to bring some tickets down and see if you guys, while you're there, would like to buy some.
Okay, we're here.
Because we have a time schedule here. A lot of people is coming at 11, some coming at 12. That way we can have these dinners hot and ready for you when you come and pick it up, Sure. And we're right down the street from you. We're on 4038 North 8th Street. Just walk to the rear. Yes.
You're right. You're literally
right close to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Boy, you're one heck of a salesman. Salesperson. Literally.
I don't know about all of that, but I'm doing.
Heavens and Mercury even.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay,
well,
you all trying
appreciate
to inspire
it.
me here.
All right, have a great one. Thanks for the call, okay?
God bless you all.
All right.
I was watching Insecure this morning.
What you doing?
And they had taken I guess she works with a.
Had you been watching the
I had never watched it before.
It's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
So I'm watching, and they're youth. She's part of Issa Rae is part of the youth serving organization.
Right.
So she takes them to the beach. Let's get into your conversation. And so the white guy comes up next to her, and he goes, "How come they're not swimming?" She said, "Slavery."
Wow.
Well, you were talking about that.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. She said slavery. It is. We need to have, when you look at the disproportionate number of Black youth who die from drowning.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what gets in their head where they think that you can't swim and then you're going to, especially inland. But I've had some other situations where people have drowned in pools. So get those kids in swimming, man. And I know you worried about their hair. Get them in swimming. First of all, it's a great aerobic exercise. But you never know because you go on these outings and the kids want to get in the water. And quite frankly,
I just never could get over my fear of the water. I mean, I had swimming class, as a part of, at South, you had to, but I couldn't get it. I had to kick, you kick with the
kickboard.
Yeah, I did all of that, but.
So you can't swim either?
Nah.
At the Y.
Like a rock.
Can you swim, Carvey? Carvey can't swim?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Learn how to swim. No, you can't. Okay, no, you won't. That's people.
First you got to get back up to the top.
Yeah, and panic and the whole thing. Like when we did life saving, one of the things is that
you know he can swim. That's why he's talking.
Well, I swim. I'm not a great. Now my wife is a fish. Yeah. She swims, and she had all the God kids in swimming classes. She swims. So, but we had.
They claim that it's best to learn as a
kid.
As a kid, yeah.
Well, at the Y, what they used to do was they tell you to come out on the diving board. And they push you in.
That's how, I mean, even as an adult at the Schrader Y, I had the instructor and I wasn't expecting it. I was running my mouth and he came behind me and he pushed me into the water. And I was like, and almost died. And they came in and got me.
Well, hopefully they will.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have other intentions.
Yeah, even in New York, they would take us to the Y. But what was interesting, they had something on the bottom of the pool at the Y in New York that resembled a mattress. So they had trained us that if you got in there and you went down, bounce on that until it could spring you back up to the top. And that's how people knew that I had went in, because it was a pool full of kids, but I could come up long enough to wave my hand. Somebody came in and got me. The crazy thing is I will jump in water and know I can't swim because I'm like, somebody gonna come get me.
Well,
terrible.
And one of the things we learned in life saving was that you never come to the front of the person. You come from behind. because they're already panicking and they're going to pull you down. Right. So you come from behind when you grab. So if you watch rescuers, they always grab you from behind, not in the front.
Oh, that's good information.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not about to save nobody
because they panic, right? Because they're already in a distress situation. Now you grab them, and it's just like, no, you get them from behind, firm, and then you can then swim them where they need to go.
I mean, because even stories like they just had one on day before yesterday, a father, his children get caught in some kind of like swirling thing going on. He jumps in, he's able to get them out, but then he ends up getting sucked up and dies. Right. You know, so
and you know, the other thing, I'm like Debo though, I'm scary. So, you know, I wasn't that adventurous of a child. Oh, let's go out and see what it's like. Oh, you go out and see. Tell us if you get back.
Come back and let me
know. But I mean, even like doing stuff like going to Martha's Vineyard and having to take that ferry across, you know, so I sit there, but it's many times I look at the water like, man, it's so crazy going out here. Cruises? I've only done one cruise, like, well, two, but one real one, like where I was gone for an extended amount of time. But yeah, but I love the water, love looking at it, but it always crosses my mind. Like, man, if anything goes sideways, girl, you in trouble out here.
I told somebody I lied at my baptism. Pastor Kelly said, can you swim? I said, yeah.
You lying at the baptism. Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Right. So you go in a dry devil and you come out a wet devil. You lying at your baptism. But you know, I don't want to tell them no.
Why not?
What was I? 10?
Embarrassed?
Yeah, 10. And I
so you was gonna drown?
No, we're baptized. I bet not drown.
Where you get baptized at?
9th and North.
In a pool?
No, in a baptismal pool.
Okay, so the little water.
Yeah, we wasn't doing.
What's the name of that church there on that corner?
It's Friendship now.
Friendship.
It used to be Metropolitan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Pastor Joseph Jackson.
So they had a baptism pool in there?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Under, I think it's under the choir loft.
Yeah, Debo, everybody wasn't at the creek with you.
We weren't at the creek. We was at the Y.
You was at the creek.
We was at the Y around the corner from your church.
Which one?
9th and North at that point.
12th and Garfield.
Yeah,
okay. Because now, unlike Baptists, who baptize every Sunday, if there's a candidate, you all have what, the end of the year or
whenever they get enough people.
They get enough people, then they go.
Gotta wait till they get enough people.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Morning.
What's happening?
Two things. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
I can swim. Matter of fact, I took lifeguard training. I wanted to be a lifeguard one summer.
Okay.
So I took the training, and both my sons can swim and both my grandsons swim. So we taught them how to do that. But here's the other thing. Debo, where is the location of the park you'll be playing at tonight?
Oh, that is tonight. St. Joe's. It's right across the street from St. Joe's on Burleigh. I think that's like 50th, between 51st. Right across from the ER. Y'all gonna need the ER when this boy get finished. He gonna rock the house. He gonna do some damage. You gonna need the ER. No, right across from the ER.
Okay, I plan on coming out. This will be my first time hearing Debo.
Oh man, let me tell you something, dude. That band rocks, and people know I give out compliments like manhole covers, but no, they rock. I mean, I saw them down at the Black Arts Fest last year, and then this year at Garfield Day. Man, they rock. They come with it.
Okay, good. What time?
Ooh, I think 5:30. You know what? I will. I'll get with somebody there doing it, and I'll let you. I think it's 5:30, but I'll confirm that. How you been, man?
I've been good, thank you. I've been good. Trying to get in touch with Mr. Kelly about some business, but everything's been good.
Okay, just walked in. Okay.
Tell him the check is messy.
Okay, I'll do that, man.
All right.
Peace. All right, 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. Let me get to it. I don't know if Carvey, you posted it. You posted it? Yeah. Okay. Wednesday's word. Okay. Wednesday's word is poll. Poll. P-O-L-L, not P-O-L-E, P-O-L-L. And so I want to give you a little background on that word. We use the word all the time. And then we will be doing the people's polling this morning. I just like to get a sense of, we see all these polls. I'm becoming obsessed with polls now. Every morning I get up and I'm looking at the polls to see what the numbers are saying and the whole thing. So where do we even get this word poll? And this is taken from an article in the Saturday Evening Post by Mr. Andy Hollenbeck. He says, all across the country, people will head to the polls without even realizing the repetition, at least historically, in that phrase, head to the polls. Middle Low German poll refers to one's head, but especially the top and back of the head where the hair grows. This became the Middle English poll, P-O-L-L-E, still meaning head, around the beginning of the 14th century. So from a historical perspective, head to the polls is really head to the heads. Fairly quickly, though, synecdoche, the rhetorical device that uses the name of one part of something to refer to a whole thing, like calling your car your wheels, took over. And by the mid-14th century, poll was being used to refer to an individual person or animal. This might bring to mind the idea of taking a head count. That's exactly what was happening when shepherds, I never heard this word, cowherds and community organizers took count by polls. They were counting heads one by one, but people didn't show up to be counted for no reason. By the 1620s, we find the verb poll meaning not to count heads, but to count votes. And from there, it's a clear shot to a wider poll-based election vocabulary, including polling places and poll tax by the 19th century. There's an amazing clip that's in the Saturday Evening Post of August 19th, 1826, finding some men literally dying to vote. In it, we find polling used as a synonym for voting and poll as the place where the votes are cast. The vocabulary that becomes into play during elections stems from a wide variety of sometimes surprising etymological sources, some of which I have written about before. And you can check out What is a Caucus Anyway, a candidate as white as snow, and where your ballots come from for a little language. So that's where the word came from. It literally means to count heads. And so when we go in, we tabulate the number of votes cast. And so that's where you get the word polls, polling, and polls. And I'll go in and I'll be a little bit more particular about the types of polls. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Keith, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm trying to make it happen, Captain.
Man, I don't want to break news to you, but Joan Rivers, man, she didn't pass, man. You know, Joan Rivers was one of the greatest.
Joan Rivers has been dead for a while, hasn't she?
No, man.
Okay.
Not Joan Rivers, man.
When she died today?
Come on, man.
I don't know. When did she die?
She died before she died of cancer.
I don't think so.
Where you been, man?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, man. Where you been? I know it's hot.
Oh, man.
I just saw an interesting statistic, man, about Phoenix. Y'all have had 100 straight days of 100-degree plus weather.
Let me tell you, dude. So it's been the record was 76. And we at 100, and we have, I think this week is going to be back in the triple digits.
That's amazing, man. That's hot.
And you talking about where you be like, we still got September to go.
Yep. Okay.
Well,
Let's get back to Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers.
That must be her anniversary.
Yeah. 10 years ago, Joan Rivers died today.
Oh, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, she died today.
September 4th.
September the 4th.
Hey, I looked at that so fast. I'm like, man, right. Joan Rivers, man.
Right. That'd be surprised to her daughter. My mama's still alive. No, she died again. She'd have died again.
Hey, a couple of folks done died again.
What was the joke? I'm gonna kill you, bury you, dig you up, and kill you again.
Hey, I'm a kill you, and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna kill you again. Because
Right.
what's the thing? If you serve your time and you get out, you still gonna be dead.
Yeah, what Richard Pryor talked about all the time that dude got. He said, so what do they do? You know, dig him up and make him serve the rest of the time. Because what did and you know what? Speaking of, and we're running the commercials here. I don't know if they're running them down in Arizona, which is now state in play. But they're showing, and I knew when it happened, Daryl Brooks is going to be part of any Republican ad, and they're running Daryl Brooks ads up here. All right, and some kind of way they tied it to Harris Walls. I don't know how they were able to do that.
If I'm telling you would see the craziest stuff. How these folks ride around with these big pickup trucks, and they flags be big. Like I'm talking about, they flags be big, like belong on top of schools and buildings. And they say F Biden, or they say Trump real big. I'm talking about, they so big. They huge. They like they belong on top of a school or a building. That's how they ride. That's how they ride here.
Okay. Well, that's how they riding up here too. It ain't, you know what it.
That's how they riding up there too.
Because what did Malcolm say? This is up south. You know, it ain't changing. I think that's the thing where I hear people talk. Oh, well, in the South, at least they know. You know, they don't like you. Shit, we figured that out up here. They don't like us. So what? You don't have to go south for that.
Man, listen. Well, you know, we're in the red state, so it's even worse here.
Well, actually, you guys are looking a little purple right now.
Yeah, okay. I don't trying to hear that.
Oh, okay.
Because you know why? Because you know, it's people love their guns here. They love they have a gun show every month.
Right.
They don't miss it, and they love it, so they don't want to give up their guns. So that's what they don't care about anything else but their guns. They don't care about women's rights. If it's about their guns, that's what they're about.
Okay. All right, man. All right, you're listening to Community Voice. Again, Wednesday's word is poll. We will be doing the people's poll. So I want you to take advantage of that, be a part of that. Love to know what you're thinking. We always hear they never call us. Okay, I'm going to let you call us. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice. And again, Wednesday's word is poll, and we will be doing the people's poll. So you can, if you want, you can start calling now, 414-444-5250. There's only 8 questions. Trust me, there are no wrong answers. Just kind of getting a sense of, where we are as we, I think we're about 80 some odd days away from 80 days to November. What is it? September the 4th. So we're about 60 days away from the election. This election is November 4th. All right. Here are the different types of polls that people utilize. One, the most popular poll, one I think most people are familiar with, is the opinion poll. An opinion poll is like a mind-reading machine. It helps you understand the thoughts and feelings of a specific groups of people. This poll involves asking the same question to individual. It's done to get a collective opinion on a topic or issue. What's the purpose? Representation. The primary goal is to represent the target audience accurately, and then decision making. They help make informed decisions, predict election outcomes, and measure public support for policies or candidates. How does this work? First, you define your target audience, maybe adults in your town. Today, it's going to be listeners at WNOV. Then you choose a representative sample, like 100 people. We won't do a representative sample. We'll just whoever calls in. Finally, you ask the question, coffee or tea, and then analyze the results to see which beverage wins. News organizations use it, and then marketing firms. The interesting thing is, I don't know if you hear me mention from time to time, I do some work with the Edison Research Group. Edison Research is the people, when you see those exit polling, that's Edison Research. And Edison Research also does polling, like if you go to a movie, there's a movie premiere, they'll have posters out there getting people's impression of the movies. I don't know how Rotten Tomatoes work, but I think that's also a survey where people go in and you can rate a movie. So that's an opinion poll. There are benchmark polls. The initial poll is conducted right before or shortly after a campaign is officially launched. Unlike opinion polls that takes human sentiments as the metrics, benchmark polls are all about internal insight. The results help an organization understand its stand in the market before it dives in. Now, here's an example of a benchmark poll. I don't know if people go back as far as, let's see, Cavalier ran in, was that 2020? Yeah. No. Barrett won, and then Cavalier finished his term and then ran. He just won a full term back in this year. When he ran initially, there was all this polling that a group had come in, I don't know the name of the group, had done. They did things like name recognition, negative favorable impacts of candidates. So, for example, they would say that Keith Parris has 70% of people know Keith Parris, heard the name. Then they'll dive deeper into it, and then they would ask the question, do you like Keith or you don't like Keith? I'm being real simplistic, right? That's where you get your favorability rates. All these things will then help campaigns then fashion their rollout, fashion their rollouts, what issues people find are important to them. And then there's another term you hear called micro-targeting. Micro-targeting then there's a very, very particular group of people you're going after to be able to get where they are and where their sentiments are. So whatever that polling company was that Cavalier Johnson's campaign used, it gave information on all the candidates who were in that race. I think Lena Taylor Donovan, Ernell Lucas, Cavalier Johnson. Those were the 4 major candidates that I can remember, if there's another one. And then they shared their information with the Journal Sentinel, where you could go in and you could just see how and then you'll notice that then you will tailor. You hear also terms when people are talking about don't go on the polls or the national polls. There are other polls that are happening, right? That they're constantly going out surveying and polling people. And then I think you also have to understand there's something also called a push poll. A push poll is usually partisan. That means it could be Dems, it could be Republicans. And what they're doing is trying to push a certain narrative on the people that they're surveying and see how they react to that narrative. Okay. It again is trying to paint the best picture for that particular group or that particular candidate. And part of that is getting certain types of polls. You also then have to understand the source of the polling, right? There are conservative groups. And one of the real things that I go out when I pull up a lot of different polling data is that now there's an indicator. Is this a Democratic sponsored polling? Is this a Republican sponsored polling? Is this a nonpartisan group who are doing the polling? All that is significant. There's a name or a particular group that I've been watching in terms of where they are out of all of the pollsters that they do. Harris, CNN, New York Times, Siena College, all the polls. Rasmussen. If you ever hear people cite Rasmussen, they're a very, very, very conservative group. You will find that when even the people that they target for their surveys are people who are going to be leaning towards being conservative. So if you ever see a Rasmussen poll, like right now you see a Rasmussen poll where all the poll numbers seem to be trending towards Harris, but then the Rasmussen poll is almost like an outlier because it's always Trump. Trump is always up by one. All the other polling is saying that maybe he is not up by one. And then again, as I mentioned, there are all the things that the candidates do, the parties do, to go in to make sure that they're on message. You know, you do focus groups, which is another way of surveying people. And in focus groups, and it's really amazing now with technology, because with focus groups, I don't know if you've noticed that, and you'll see it next week on Tuesday night. Well, they will have, CNN will probably have a focus group. Fox will have a focus group. Certainly MSNBC might have one. I don't know if ABC, because ABC is doing it, whether or not they'll have a focus group. And what that focus group does, they can do a couple of things. Sometimes they will go in and they will allow people to do immediate responses. That ain't how you pronounce the word. Immediate response to what the candidate says during the debate. And so you will find, I don't know if CNN is going to use that this year. I know they've used it in the past, where you can see, and it could be 12 undecided voters, or it could be half the room is Democrat, half the room is Republican. Or you have another group, they might bring in independents. These people don't align themselves with Republicans or Democrats, you know, and so they're there. So it's really amazing. So you hear the polls, and when you're watching the polls, you understand that there's all the math that goes in it. There's another word that we use, and you probably don't even think about it now, term algorithms, right? You can find trends through algorithms. So it's all these technical things out there when it comes to how we poll people and then how we get the information. One quick thing, caller, I'm going to grab you. In 2016, they had Hillary Clinton up by 7 points in Wisconsin. That was based on polling. What the pollsters did not do in 2016 was factor in people who they call low information, low intensity voters, who tended to be white male, right? They weren't people that they were going to target. So a significant, more than normal number of white males showed up to vote. And at the same time in Milwaukee, let's talk about Wisconsin. In Milwaukee, 40,000 people did not show up who were eligible to vote. The margin of victory was 22,000 votes in 2016. So when they measure, so some things you can measure. If you have people who are just totally not involved with the system, and then all of a sudden, and I think the great example of probably that level of energy that we saw in recent history would be Barack Obama, right? I mean, that, you know, people who may or may not have voted in 2004, after 2000, the famous, you know, Bush-Gore Supreme Court decision, where the Supreme Court decided that election in 2000. 2004, there are people who were very disillusioned. And then Barack Obama wins the nomination in 2008. And the level of enthusiasm, and people who normally would not be involved got involved to be able to vote. And there's a lot of things that factored into that. You know, one of the things I will say, and it's part of the polling, there is a question that probably directly impacts on why so many people voted for Barack Obama. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, maybe he went to sleep on us. All right. 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. Again, it's anonymous, so don't give us your name. And two, there are no wrong answers, right? So 414-444-5250. It'll be fun. I'd love to hear what people think. And this way, maybe it gives you a little bit more, I won't say structure, but you can kind of, because I know people they have thoughts and they have opinions as it relates to the upcoming presidential election. You don't, there is no, do you support this candidate over that candidate? Just trying to get your sentiments in terms of where you are and, you know, what we should be looking for, or what even you look for. So again, 414-444, don't be scared, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. So we have a caller. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Keith. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Is this Dorothy?
Oh, I know. Good morning, Debo.
Good morning, Miss Dorothy. How you be?
Okay. I know what he was going to say.
Yeah,
He recognized me, my voice.
I know this Dorothy. How you doing, Dorothy?
I know.
I've never been able to say it like your boy, but I do.
I know.
Are you ready? You ready to take the poll?
No, I just called to say how
No, take the poll. Help me out. It helps my ratings. Help me out, okay?
You need all that.
What I do?
Just answer the question. That's all. There are no wrong answers. So feel free. Okay. How would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote in most elections. Likely to vote in most elections. Maybe will vote in the next election. Will not vote.
Number 3.
Maybe we'll vote in the next election.
Yeah.
What was the first presidential election you can remember participating in?
Ooh. What? Obama. I want to vote. I didn't vote a long time ago.
Okay. So Obama?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the factors that impact who you might support in an election? And I'll give you, and you can be all of these. It could be one of these. It could be none of these. All right. Their policies, their personality, good character, ethnicity, gender, and religion of the candidate or other.
Their policies.
Say that again. Their policies? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other?
Democrat.
For you, what is the most important issue and or issues in the upcoming presidential election? The economy, immigration, abortion, crime/public safety, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, or other?
I gotta say crime.
Crime. Okay. Okay, and I think that's all the questions that I have. That was pretty painless, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, thank you.
Okay, I get ready. I want to ask something.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday morning when Devo is on, can I pull it up on YouTube?
No,
Why?
because I don't broadcast my show on YouTube.
I didn't know that. I was just looking at it, trying to pull it up.
You can bring it up in other platforms such as Live 365,
Tune
TuneIn, then of course traditional radio. But on the weekends we do not broadcast Facebook and YouTube unless it's specialty shows like we do the kids, and then we do Pastor Robert Powell's church service on Sunday morning.
Just
Okay, I'm
explain
glad
to
I
people
got a
that
chance
everything
to
to
ask.
do with the music.
Right.
He's doing a music show, and you have rights and licensing, so that's.
Oh, I'm glad I asked because now I won't be breaking my neck trying to get it in on Saturday morning.
Well, you can get it on radio still.
Yeah, you can still
Oh
listen.
yeah, I have it on radio.
You just want to see me.
Yes, I do.
All right, Miss Dorothy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Keith,
Yes, ma'am.
Devo,
Yes, ma'am.
y'all have a blessed day.
You
You
do
too.
the same.
Okay.
All right. Want to take the next caller?
Caller, welcome to the program.
Yeah, let me turn my radio down. I'm sorry. Yeah, what I wanted to say, the reason why crime and all this car stuff is out of control is they didn't got too soft. These police, like the sheriff and all that, and they were saying with Cavalier Johnson, they waited till everything go from sugar to sugar honey iced tea before they start giving concrete walls, steel toilets, and steel bars. So now everything is out of hand. But what I find to be so funny, what is your take on this? I hear people getting so upset talking about the dengue swellings and the migrant and, you know, how everybody getting so scared. As much shooting and killing as black people do, as many guns as worried about some migrants and some dengue swellings. When they got double barrel shotguns sitting in their 3-piece suits and in the roof of their cars, why everybody getting jumping in this fear mode?
That's an interesting question. I agree with you. My chances of getting killed is not by a migrant. My chance of being killed is probably greater with someone who kind of looks like me or live near me. And so this whole fear, and I know that right now, Republicans are running ads where they're trying to make like the crime rate in America is directly a result of immigration. It is not. The overwhelming number of crimes committed in America is created by legal American citizens.
The liquor I was drinking. Because, see, I thought Republicans were all about violence on how they talk they want to use violence. And I'm going to end it like this before I... No, people keep bringing up Miss Harris on how she cleaned her green. Maybe y'all should concentrate on how y'all clean and wash y'all ass. Because the words on the street, y'all not cleaning when it comes to them sheets. And if there are 250 counts, ain't no bleach pulling that out. That's a throwaway. Have a great day, everybody.
And I thought I was ready. I'm trying to be ready. I had my finger there, but it was too late.
My wife pointed something out yesterday, which is so true. The number of germs that you can die from in your kitchen sink. Most people, there's all kind of stuff in your kitchen sink.
Yeah.
You know, and for somebody to be tripping, boy, I tell you, people are being, here's the big word, fastidious. Your whole idea of what cleanliness is. Come on, man. Caller, welcome to the program. Are you ready to take the people's poll?
Well, you know, you let Al get away. He didn't even take the poll.
Yeah, he didn't. Hey, Al, call back, take the poll. You ready to take the poll? Good morning, first of all.
Oh, good morning. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. You're ready to take the poll?
No, that is, don't you?
Yeah, and then I'll give you other where you can go on your.
That sound like Kathy.
Okay, I can take the poll.
Is that Kathy?
Okay, here we go.
Is that Kathy?
Yeah. We ain't gonna shh.
Kathy at work. Kathy at work. Shh.
Whisper text.
You know what I had a question on. When these people are running for office, I haven't heard anybody say anything about raising minimum wage up. They haven't talked about Social Security.
Okay, well, do you think that should be an issue? I have questions for that. So that's great. So let's do this. How would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote, and let me give you the categories, please.
Yeah.
Very likely to vote in most elections. Likely to vote in most elections. Maybe will vote in the next election, will not vote.
Most likely to vote.
Okay. What was the first presidential election you participated in?
Reagan in the 80s when I got out of high school.
Okay. 1980. What is the major influences in your voter participation?
That could vary, but mostly the economy, what's going on.
The economy?
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the factors that impact who you might support in an election? Their policies, their personalities, good character, their ethnicity, gender, religion, or some other reason? Hello? Hello?
The policies.
Policies. All right. How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other?
Democrat.
Democrat. For you, what is the most important issue in this upcoming presidential election? The economy, immigration, abortion, crime/public safety, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, or other?
It's kind of a loaded question.
No, you can have as many. You can have as many. This is not just one answer. So
Social Security
okay.
to lower the prices of Medicare Part B when you retired. It went up to $174 as of January. Some people can't pay that. The other one is, let's say, what was the other one you mentioned?
I'll give you the list again. The economy, immigration, abortion, crime, public safety, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, or other.
I'll say,
it could be. It don't have to be one of them. It could be multiple.
Let's say the economy. Crime. It's not an easy thing to deal with as individuals sometimes itself. So a lot of it to do with the behavior, the lifestyle of people and their families. So crime is always going to be here. Then you can put more money into crime and pay people more money to take on those kind of jobs in law enforcement. But crime is going to be here.
Okay. So I didn't hear you mention Social Security and Medicare.
Right, and minimum wage.
And minimum wage. Okay.
Right, and the George Floyd bill. Okay, so I don't know where that fit in there, but my thing is the George Floyd bill needs to be passed before they get out of office, if that's possible, based on who's in office. Okay, we need to lower Medicare Part B for people who are retiring. You should have to take $174 out of somebody's check if they work in this country because they don't have enough money to live on. Some people don't have a pension. They don't have a lot of other money coming in, okay? So that's going to be hard. And then we need to look at not charging people. I'm not sure how to phrase this, and I looked it over. Let's say they say you qualify for certain benefits. They should not go by your payroll check, your full amount you make. They should go by after taxes because you're only living on the money after taxes. So therefore, I would qualify for heating assistance. Where if you go by my money I make, they're going to say I'm $30 over. Okay, I'm just using that for an example. It happened to somebody. Okay, so go by after the payroll, after the taxes is taken out in checks. I'm not sure how that should be worded in a certain way, but I talked to Winmore, Terry Ball, and a few people about that, and that's something they should look into. Because it's on the other end. If you don't look into it now and do something about some of the stuff I mentioned, a lot of people who don't qualify for services, when they retire, the city or the state will have to take care of them because they're going to have a lower, they'll be in a lower tax bracket. So they need to not look, and they need to change the tips and stuff on working people, and that they should keep all that money.
All right. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Julie.
You ready to take the poll?
Yeah, we can get it out of the way, but I wanted to make a comment about some other things.
I know you did, so let's do this first. All right. How would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote in most elections, likely to vote in most elections, maybe will vote in the next election, will not vote.
Vote in all elections.
So very likely to vote in most elections?
Yeah, very likely to vote.
Okay. What was the first presidential election you participated in?
The Reagan deal. The
1980.
Reagan deal. Yeah.
Okay. What are the factors that impact who you might support in an election? Their policies, their personalities, good character, ethnicity, gender, religion, other candidate, or other? Policies. How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other?
Independent, conservative leaning.
Okay.
Because I'll switch. I'll switch if it fits my agenda or my convictions. I'll vote in that. I'll vote in that vein.
Okay. And then the final question for you: what is the most important issue in this upcoming election? The economy, immigration, abortion, crime, public safety, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, or other?
Immigration and the economy. We can't even hardly get ourselves a bag of chips. Listen, brother, I'm waiting on your caller that usually calls in from Colorado, and I'm surprised I haven't heard from him because he's more liberal leaning. But the migrants over there last week, and they still in possession of it, they took over 100-unit building, putting black folk and black folk and white folk out, brother, at gunpoint. I knew it. I told people, I said, when these people get a hold of some arms, they're going to be ruthless, because they have no restraint when it comes down to moral guidance the way we have it. A lot of us believe in heaven and hell. We go to church, we believe in that type of thing. A lot of these people don't believe in no life after death. When they dead, they just dead. We have restraints in most cases of fear after death. So when a person don't have fear after death, really, he'll go tie some stuff on his body and do something to himself and the whole people around him. So if you look at that thing in Colorado, and I've been listening for that guy to call in all the time. They done took over, brother, at gunpoint. The governor over there won't even send the National Guards in, because I didn't know this, but that's a sanctuary state. So I said this too. The Civil War, the Revolutionary War that we're going to fight in this country will not be blacks and whites. Listen to me, white folk. Listen to me, black folk. We won't be fighting each other. We will have to bond together to fight off a group of people, especially if they're asked to leave here. Okay? They're not going to go willingly. So you want to say something, brother?
Who are you talking to?
I was talking to you.
No, I'm sitting here listening, brother. What?
Right. Well, I figured you was probably, because you heard about what's going on in Colorado, right?
Yeah, as I understand it, there are some Venezuelans who have taken over, but wow. Okay.
No, don't say but wow. How do you fix that?
Well, I'm sure they're going to fix it, but I'm going, wow.
Yeah, but look what they done did. They got Negroes outside, old people, man. They got no place to live.
There's been a whole lot of, one of the reasons why you don't have the public housing that you had in Chicago was because they were gangs who literally took over Robert Taylor.
We're not talking about this.
Took over. Yeah, because I think you have to look at proportion. If I had this one instance where some Venezuelans have taken over an apartment building, where again, in the statement that I made to Al, I'll make to you. My threat is not an undocumented immigrant. No. Because we need to. My threat is U.S. American-born citizens, sometimes people who look like me. That's the real threat.
We understand all of that.
Okay, but that's an important point.
But if me and you grab arms and go in there and start putting them people out, we're gonna be, hey man, the regular police coming to see at us.
Okay. Well, and I'm not saying that they don't have to deal with it. They do have to deal with it.
National Guard yet. What is that about, bro?
I don't know. I don't know how severe it is.
What about your people, man, that's being put out there, elderlies, man? These people, that mean they taking your furniture, they taking the house, bro. Your refrigerator, your food, you out of there, bro.
Okay.
How do you explain that, kid?
I don't know if I can, Meech.
So what do we do about it?
Well, I'm sure they're going to handle it, but to make it sound like it is a national problem, it is not.
No, it will become one. This is what you call it.
Here's the other thing. I think I have more in common in terms of being a marginalized person with undocumented immigrants than I do with white Americans.
How can you do that when you don't even know the language?
I don't have to know the language. I know the experience. It don't matter. In Haiti, they speak French and Creole, right? Yeah, but they're still suffering because they're black. It don't matter what language you are when you're suffering because of how you look. Language is insignificant.
Brother, have you seen any of these people that's coming across here? They're not coming as refugees, brother.
Most of them are. Most of them are.
Where they get money at to pay for tattoos? They coming in here with tattoos.
Okay, man. They're leaving violent situations. There is no way the island of Haiti is virtually inhabitable.
Okay, you want to rag on Haiti, which
I'm saying because a lot of those people crossing, a lot of those people crossing the southern border are Haitian. Brother. They have a whole town.
These are Venezuelans.
You talking about Venezuelans? You talking about Guatemalans? You talking about people from El Salvador? You're talking about.
Why are you ducking that?
I'm not ducking it. I'm just saying we need to be accurate.
Man, you good on
And here's the other thing. And I haven't heard Trump say this, and I haven't heard the Republican Party say this. The border crossings have dropped precipitously.
Listen, we understand that.
Okay, well, so they dropped. So when we're talking about the border, the reality is that border, first of all, is secure. I heard when people say that's an insecure border. No, that border is secure.
Okay, fine. Hey, listen, you want to argue the fact that people are coming in.
No, I'm saying that people are not coming in at the same rate they were 3 years ago.
We got over 12 million people already in here, not including the ones that we can't count.
And the vast majority of those people, are doing what when they're here, Meech? Working?
No,
they are.
No.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're working.
I can't believe it. You telling me that they done put over 12 million people to work? That's in this country?
Yeah, see that's the problem.
So that means that's 12
hold on, wait a minute. That's the problem. That's the problem with the Republican argument. Hold on, let me finish, Meech. No. I'm saying because there's a particular policy I'm focusing in on. So when Republicans come on, we're tough on immigration. We don't want undocumented coming in. The impact it has on the economy, because it's those undocumented folks who work the fields in Florida, who work the fields in Arizona, who works the field. No, we're talking about people come so they're working. They're coming here to work. They're coming here for a better life.
Can I say this to you?
Yes.
Brother, we're not talking about the fields. And you talking about that they're taking jobs that we don't want. You go to IHOP, you can't, if you telling me ain't no black or white people filling out applications, you look back there, nothing but these kind of people. You go to any of these restaurants.
So let me get this straight. Hold on, just so I'm clear. So you're saying that they would hire a Mexican, I'm just using Mexican, over a white person?
Of course.
Why?
Because of the simple fact that these people are pretty persistent in their coming every day. Where Americans, we might work 6 months and say, man, I've been there every day. I'm gonna take the day off.
Oh, you're making my point. You're making my point.
They're consistent.
You're making my point. Right. They're here to work. They're here to take care of their families.
That's not to say, brother, that's not to say that we don't want to work.
I've never said we don't want to work. I'm just saying there's certain jobs that the average American don't want to work. Now that I did say. Certain jobs.
Okay. Are you telling me that there's not people filling out applications at the Hyatt Regency in the Fiesta to be housekeepers? My mama, your mama, aunties, everybody done work these kind of jobs.
Have you ever been to a hotel in DC?
Guess what? Ain't nobody running a bus.
No, wait a minute. Who's working in those hotels?
Mostly the immigrants. People.
African immigrants.
Yeah, they're immigrant people.
Right. So they're coming here to work. They're coming here to work.
They don't, hold on, brother. The Africans don't breed with me and you to raise our numbers up here in this country. They have been well trained and vetted not to mess with me and you. So them Africans, I don't even include them.
I don't know how true that is. I think
they don't breed with us, man.
I think it has everything to do with
the Hmongs in the Laos. They breed with us more.
I think it has everything to do with when you're looking at let's say you're Nigerian and the average Nigerian.
They don't breed with us.
Well, wait a minute. The average Nigerian in this country came here, so they had a different, education and social class than maybe the average run-of-the-mill everyday American, Negro, white or black.
Why we got to be run-of-the-mill, bro?
I was just trying to
remember we set the world stage for mostly all of these people.
Okay.
The black man in America.
All right.
If we pull our pants down behind our booty, the whole round world start pulling their pants down behind.
Everybody on booties today, man. What is this?
No. I said pull our pants down and start sagging. The whole round world do. Okay. All right. Let me just say that if we start rapping, the whole round world walking around rapping. Whatever we do, we set in place.
But it was something that Chris Rock said. Chris Rock said, and he was in a predominantly white audience. He said, "You know what? I'm rich. And there's not a white person in this room who want to trade places with me."
Hey, I got to agree with him.
Okay. All right.
I got to agree with him. Hey, man, listen here. I appreciate the 15 minutes of fame, 5 minutes of fame, and I'm out of here.
It was 15, but that's all right. Let me get
No, it wasn't. It was 11 minutes.
You got to know your phone.
I was on hold for 5 of them.
Okay, so 16 minutes total time. Appreciate you, man. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
You want me to talk?
Yes, sir.
I'm listening to the radio from here.
Yeah, don't listen. Listen through your phone.
I
now.
just want to throw this. I want to throw this in there. My brother Meek is doing that Trump thing, and it hurts me so hard. He doesn't let the other person respond, and he sticks with his stuff repetitiously. I want to make this point. As far as immigrants coming over here and taking jobs, I heard somebody else say, I think it was in California, that they put money out for blacks to be hired, and what happens is the white contractor who has the jobs will go and get these immigrants who work for less and sub the job out to them. And if you can go around Milwaukee and you see these people working on the street, mostly immigrants, and they're working under white contractors. That's just like this other thing where they have jobs specifically for minorities, and they included white women as minorities, and their white husbands will hire her and put her in a contract position, and they'll soak up all the good jobs. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, I'm not real being funny. I like Mitch. But if he's worried about Denver, call Denver, law enforcement, call the governor, call the mayor, and take yourself over there and help them over there with whoever's taking over that apartment. I've seen it, but that's not part of our problem. And we haven't had that yet. We'll deal with it when they get here. Don't try to make people say something about Denver that's not there. Go over there and help them out. So you're so passionate about that, okay? That's their issue over there. And I hope it don't happen to nobody else, okay? But another one. He talking about immigrants. Ain't nobody ever took my job. And you know why? Them people are cleaning the floor, mopping the floor. If you want your niece and nephew, that's what you want them to be doing? You're trying to say was American people have not, and black people have not grown out of them kind of jobs already? We should be striving for higher jobs than that, okay? That's something you do for extra change or money or in college or high school, but you don't sit there and say, they ain't taking our job. Go out in the fields and work all day and see what that's like. Them people work in the fields, like you said, Keith. They come over here and they're trying to strive to do better, okay? And who in the heck am I, as a black person, to tell somebody not to come over here and strive to do better? The government allows them to come in. Now we have to work with them. Okay?
Well, let me ask you a question, Kathy. Where are your folks from originally?
My dad was, and I don't tell you, my dad was from, and my grandma was from Jamaica.
Okay.
Grandma was 103 years old when she died in Longview, Texas. You can look her up. She owned oil. She owned a lot of stuff down there, okay?
But they came to America for what?
I guess a better life.
A better life. Many of my folks are from Tennessee. They came from the great state of Tennessee to Milwaukee for a better life. And
right.
and so you would always hear in Boston, one of the hostilities between descendants of Africans, because Boston has a black population, but a lot of the black population is from the Caribbean, right?
Right.
So, and they were there.
Boston was the last team in the NBA to ever draft a black person. They say they didn't need us for basketball. Let's get that straight. But they got the most black museums you ever seen in your life in Boston. I've been in Boston. I've been to Martha's Vineyard. I've been all over this world. Okay, I've been all over. I got cousins.
Started on Boston. When Bill Russell, they were probably the most dominant franchise, probably in NBA history in terms of number of championships they won in Boston under Bill Russell or with Bill Russell. They never sold out a regular season game, even though they're winning all those championships, right? Larry Bird comes, and I'm a big Larry Bird fan. I'm just only talking about what happened. Larry Bird comes, they selling out every regular season basketball game.
Thank you.
And Doc Rivers pointed out, and I don't know if this was when he was in Boston or where he was, because he was married to a white woman. They burned his house down.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because I talked to some Jewish folks and my dad. I've been around people. I live off of 51st Street Boulevard when we moved over here. My mom worked at Harley Davidson. My dad worked at a steel company. All I'm telling people is that, and I was a smart little young girl for years. I hung around a little bit older people for a while. Guess what? You're telling the truth. And when they bust them kids in Boston, it was the white people who came out there and tried to tip over the school buses. You can see they did not want them schools integrated like that. Boston was the problem, not the black people. But Boston is a beautiful state. Beautiful state.
And the argument that they were making,
the Irish are the first people they allowed to come in this country without anything. And then the Germans and the Polish started changing their name a little bit when they got here. When they found some in nursing homes, they sent them back because they changed their names from the Nazi war when they burned the Jewish and people. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny. People need to learn their history. Okay, so let's focus on what's going on in this state right here. All I'm saying is that you're right. Boston was the last team in the NBA to ever draft a black person, say they didn't need them. I ain't got time for people like Mitch. Really.
All right, appreciate you.
No, you can tell me what you said about Boston. What now?
Well, no, I've a city I've never visited. A city I'd hope to visit one day, but a city I still hate because you talked about when they had to do the busing in Boston,
right?
But even this goes back even before this. A lot of people, and one of the great courses I took in college was White Ethnics in America. I think anybody, if you ever read, you'd really be surprised this whole thing and conferred whiteness. When the Irish came, the Irish were literally, and I'm going to use this term because I haven't used it all month, the Irish were considered the niggers of Europe. The Irish were looked down upon. And so when they got to Boston, right, to come there to work, they lived literally in slums and ghettos. What is that? The South End, where they lived. They were living in poverty. Right.
When I heard that before, now everybody.
And then black folks began to move there. Same reason why the Irish moved there, for a better life. And what then the power structure said was, the Negroes are coming to take your jobs. And so it created a hostility for black folks moving to Boston, particularly, and the Irish in Boston, to the point that today there is still contention between the descendants of Africans and the Irish in Boston. What I'm saying to people is, it wasn't until the early 1900s that they would even confer whiteness on Irish people. We're not even going to talk about the Italians. We're not going to talk about the Poles. We're not going to talk about the Serbs.
Right.
So
in the 80s, Keith, they were discriminating and they were violent with black people. Were bus in to go to them schools out there. They think the world belonged to them at that time. They ain't got nothing to talk about, but every person I know want to go to Ireland, and every white person you talk to.
And here's the crazy thing about those schools that were predominantly Irish. They were poor performing too. They were dealing with the same issues that the black schools were dealing with.
Right.
So, I think that a lot of times
the Boston Tea Party, if you listen and look at that people need to learn what's going on. I like out east a lot, okay, but I've been in Boston. Every time I go out to Connecticut and New York, I go up there because I have relatives who have migrated up there teaching school and doing stuff. The only poor person in this Wisconsin and my family is probably me working every day, okay? I'm just saying, learn what's going on around here and stuff, because the Irish ain't about a darn dime, and a lot of them people have changed their names.
I'm not going to go that far, but okay, I'm just saying how people appreciate you. Let me get this next caller. Sure. All right. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, Keith. Good morning, Devo. Good morning, Carvey.
Good morning.
Hey, man, for a minute, I thought that this was Nietzsche's show. I thought Nietzsche had just taken over for you this morning.
Yeah, that's his 15-minute slot that I have to give him every day.
Oh, wow. How do I get that?
No, he don't get it either. That's just what it seemed like a segment, right? So.
Hey, well, look here. You're taking a survey this morning. Is that correct?
I'm saying that. Yes, I am. You ready? I'm sorry.
Hey, how could you take a survey? How could you take a survey, man, when you're going off into all these different conversations?
Well, that's what it does. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be able to lead us into conversation. So that's not, I'm not tripping. Okay. I'm not, because that's part of what we're doing. It's like a talking point. So let's do that. So how would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote in most elections? Likely to vote in most elections, or maybe we'll vote in the next election, or will not vote?
Very likely to vote.
What was the first presidential election you participated in?
I can't remember. I didn't really start voting until my wife encouraged me to, and I've been married for almost 46 years. So
So that's going back
somewhere
to
around that time.
Reagan, Carter.
Yeah, probably Carter. Yeah, Carter.
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah,
Carter.
that was 80, either 76 or 80.
Mhm.
What is major influence or major influence and or influences in your voter participation? What drives you to vote?
Well, for the economy, for Social Security, of course.
Okay.
I'm on Social Security, and crime, and the economy.
Okay. I'll get to that, but okay. What are the factors that impact who you might support in a particular candidate? Their policies, their personality of the candidate, good character, ethnicity, gender, religion of the candidate, or some other factor?
The policy.
The policies. How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other?
Democrat.
For you, what is the most important issue in this upcoming presidential election? The economy, immigration, abortion, crime, public safety, taxes, Social Security, and or Medicare, or others. It can be a multiple. It's not just one. So,
Yeah, of course, crime. The economy, of course, and what did I say? Social Security.
Social Security. Yeah, that's one I'm looking at. It was interesting when Kathy was talking about the Medicare premium. One of the retirement benefits I had was that they say so-called lifetime medical, but
Right.
they also pay my wife and my Social Security, my Medicare premium. So
Hey man, I tell you,
that benefited in 2015. So a lot of people, they hadn't retired by 2015, lost that benefit. So
yeah, hey, I'm speaking to the young people out there. Young people, it's best for you to start planning for your retirement. The retirement will slip up on you before you know it. And if you don't have any pension, or if you don't have any money saved, you're going to be in deep trouble because you're not going to have any money. Okay,
just Social Security, and that's the other piece of it now, because companies are getting away from what I see. What I experience at the county, what my friends are experiencing at the city, the state, is, and even on the federal level, you have fixed pensions, right? Guaranteed. Those pensions are fixed. But companies literally sold their pensions, and so people going in private situations. That's what happened to all the people that remember when they went on the brewery strike here, and Slits, and they ended up selling the pensions. They got rid of the pensions. So those folks, when they finally closed Slits, had no pension.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, there is a lot of companies now that don't even carry pensions.
Right, it's 401ks.
I'm very fortunate that I have a pension for my company, and I have pension and Social Security. So that's what's maintaining my lifestyle.
Let me ask a question about that. That's real interesting, because I was listening to something Governor Walz was saying, where he was saying that, you have to work until you're 75. And so I was kind of sitting up here thinking like, wow, man, because I have pension, I have Social Security, a little part-time work. I mean, how hard should you be working after 65? That's Medicare year. Should you still be working really, really hard after 65?
I think the only reason why people work really hard after 65 is because they absolutely have to. My situation is I never thought that I would retire at the age of 56.
Okay.
But after working at this company for 37 and a half years, the company decided to go out of business and ship their products overseas. And so in results of that, I end up retiring at the age of 56.
Okay.
So I am very fortunate that, I've been retired for 15 years and I never went back to work.
Well, you know what? And interesting, I retired in 2009. So, oh man, that's 15 years. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
15 years. Yeah. That's when I came out in 2009. I haven't worked since.
And so, I was relatively young, when you look at it. And I think the other thing was because I had a pension. There's some people who cannot retire, they can't get their pension until they're 60. It's probably age. So it depends on where your pension, what type of pension that you have. But I just wonder sometimes, because I feel like I'm just I'm not going at full speed like I was maybe in the 40s, when I was in my 40s, and
You can't, man. You can't go at full speed, especially if it's something physical.
Right.
You can't go at full speed. You know what I'm saying? So I say to young people out there, make sure that you save a percentage of your money for your old age without touching it, because it is going to be very beneficial to you.
And it's going to sneak up on you. It's going to sneak up on you.
So many friends that I've had that I came up with, these guys, they did not take their working career seriously, and then they end up on SSI. And if you're on SSI, you're not even supposed to own a car that's value more than $2,000. You'll probably end up in an elderly home. So your rent is cheap, and you won't be able to have the. Cause I'm a strong believer in, when you get up in age, man, this is the most essential, most important time of your life, man, where you really supposed to enjoy your life to the fullest. Do some traveling and have enough money, man, to just do some of the things that you just really want to do in life.
Well, appreciate you, man, and thank you for being part of the People's Poll this morning.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, the phone line's open, y'all. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're doing the People's Poll. Love to know what you think, hear what you think. I guess we'll be right back then, right? We'll be right back. It's at Ziegler Park. It starts at 5:30 this afternoon. 5:30. 5:30 there at Ziegler Park. Love, Peace, and Soul. What do you call yourself, a jam band?
It's a show band.
A show band.
It's a show band.
All right. Ready for the call?
I'm always ready. If I don't get to go, I'll be ready.
All right. Because if you stay ready,
you ain't got to get ready.
There you go. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Are you still taking the poll?
I sure am.
Okay. I'd like to take the poll.
You sure can. All right. How would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote in most elections. Likely to vote in most elections. Maybe will vote in the next election. Will not vote at all.
Most likely to vote.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay. What was the first presidential election you participated in?
1972.
Wow. Really? Oh,
yes, sir.
McGovern Nixon.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I'm saying that 72 was the first election that 18-year-olds could vote.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So 72. Okay. What are the major influences in your voter participation? What makes you go vote?
Number one, Democrat. Number two, it was what policy they were putting up. Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with personality, but it helps. You can kind of tell if somebody is for real or not. I've learned that one. So you can imagine what was flying out of Richard Nixon's mouth at the time. I was looking at him sideways.
Is that right?
Yes, I was.
You know what's interesting?
I hadn't even considered. Pardon?
You know what's real interesting? This is how I knew that this was first year 18-year-olds could vote. I was a sophomore at Dominican, and Orville Pitts came to Dominican. He was part of a group called Democrats for Nixon. And he came, and they were coming to recruit those folks because this would have been the first election that that senior class could vote in.
That was interesting that when he switched parties, now remember, he switched parties twice, I think, to my recollection. And him being a former attorney and him being alderman and all that kind of stuff, you do the history on Orville, somebody will see that, because I sometimes I forget. But that was different.
Yep.
I had no comment, because actually he was a nice guy, but I said I had to look at him sideways. What's wrong with you today?
Yeah, that was an interesting group of people. And if anybody remember the 72 election, Nixon won in a landslide. I mean, he killed McGovern.
Gosh.
It wasn't. Now that supposedly is the first Democratic campaign that Hillary Clinton worked on. Prior to that, what was she, an Ike girl? Her family was Republican there in Illinois. So, that the George McGovern, and it's interesting because I got to find a new word other than interesting. The Richard Nixon really had a mixed kind of legacy. It was Richard Nixon who really unleashed COINTELPRO on different groups in the country. Richard Nixon was anti-Semite. Richard Nixon was a racist, but Richard Nixon also then gave us EPA. And Richard Nixon also had a very vigorous affirmative action program there during his administration. So when you kind of look at this and you look at the history of these folks and what they did, like people love Bill Clinton. And I said that Bill Clinton's did a whole lot of damage to black people. I really do. And I know people love Bill Clinton. I know they love Hillary, but that crime bill, that was Bill Clinton, right? Welfare reform, that was Bill Clinton. And those two things have had enormous impact. And I'm going to say particularly in the black community. Now, there's all the other things, one of the greatest economies in the history of the country, got all of that. But those two things is part of his legacy. And I know we don't talk about it a lot. And when people brought up the crime bill, they put it on Hillary. Hillary had nothing to do with the crime bill.
That's right.
Hillary was the first lady of the country. That was Bill Clinton, and that was Joe Biden. I had to put it clearly where it lands or where it should be. They were the people who pushed that crime bill in terms of compromising to get legislation done with the Republicans. And we're
There you
still
go.
dealing with the residual effects of
It
that
was a
crime deal.
negotiation.
Right.
Yeah, everybody needs to has to learn the word negotiate. I'm real clear when you explain it when you're on air. I'll be going, okay. That's what I do. I just go. I don't like to negotiate with nobody. Either we're gonna come to a clear.
Is your way of the highway?
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Because if it ain't right, I'm not going with it.
I was kidding my wife. She was
I
talking
don't switch parties. I don't do none of that. I don't straddle the fence. Either I am or I'm not.
Well, here's another word then that's interesting. What about the word, when you hear the word compromise? When you hear that word compromise, what's your first reaction when you hear compromise?
Slap somebody upside the head.
It's a word for some people. It's a negative. It's a negative
like giving
word.
yourself away.
But then
it's like giving it. It's like giving up what you've been working. No, I can't. No. It's like if you're union, be a union person.
Okay.
Why are you straddling the fence going to go knock it down? But just 5 minutes ago, you were a union person. You can't. Either you are or you're not. Either I'm black or I'm not. And I'm one of the blackest women on the planet.
Well,
and I mean that.
But what does that mean when you say either you're black or you're not? I don't know what that.
Well, you know what? Because you have those sellouts. You have those people that will talk and say, "Oh yeah, I was in the movement," and they ain't moved nothing. So that's where I'm at on the black part.
Well,
I mean,
let me. It says in order to, there's all these different words, but let's do just a simple definition of compromise. It is agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions, an ability to listen to two sides in a dispute and devise a compromise acceptable to both. I think that I have learned this in my interpersonal relationships. Compromise is not always a bad word. You know, because we could sit up here and
depending on what the relationship is.
No, what I'm just saying, if I found in my interpersonal relationships, that that there are going to be times that I will have to give up something, but so with that other person, because we need to move from this spot, because the opposite of compromise is stalemate.
Okay, I just call that, I'm going to respect what you say. I may not agree with you, but I respect what you say because I see you standing on it.
But what if we need to move beyond this point? We both need to give up something.
I will.
Okay.
We moved on when I said I respect what you say.
Okay. I ain't happy about it, but okay, we go.
Right. But I can respect what you say because you standing firm. Okay. That's what I mean. I know that sounds, well, whatever.
No, because it's like somebody told me one time, they said, Keith, if I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you. So it's like, I understand that, look, sir. I'm a very controlling individual. I'm not going to lie about my control issues. And
would that be narcissism too that you have a part in? Or? No.
Yeah, somebody just said narcissism. That's right, because Michelle. No. I like to believe that I can control, and the reality is that there's some things outside of my control. I'm gonna give you here's a little example, something outside of my control. The weather.
Yes.
Is that about it?
It's more than just the weather. I'm just going with that little simple thing. I can't control the weather, but here's the other piece of that. I still impact the weather. How do I impact the weather? When we're disposing of plastics in the ocean and I'm using plastics, I'm impacting. Now, I can't control it, but I'm impacting it.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get through the survey.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, I got 4 more questions for you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat? Republican?
Democrat.
Oh. You want to think about it? All right. And here's a final question for you. What's the most important issues in this upcoming presidential election? Hello?
The most important thing was Social Security, because when that other man was up in there, he was trying to mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people that are getting benefits and stuff. They were talking about going in and taking it away. Oh no, I can't. I gotta have I'm looking out for me and mine. Because I got a brother that's retired. I have friends that are retired. They need their Social Security.
Oh yeah, and here's the other thing: you earned that Social Security.
I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, big time earned it. Yeah. I worked hard.
Yeah, I mean, and it I remember I used to love The Simpsons, and Grandpa Simpson, a group of hippies came up and they were panhandling. And so him and his old friends said, "You bums, get a job." And they run right down to the Social Security office. Gimme. So yeah, and this is an interesting, people always talk about me in trivia. But this is something really interesting that I hadn't. This really caught my attention. Since 2016, 20 million people have died who would have been supportive of the Republican Party and Donald Trump.
Ooh.
That number was 20 million. Now, again, we're talking since 2016. What's that? That's 8 years?
8. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, you do the math.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the other thing. I'm a boomer. And now, even though I'm at the end of the boom, I'm still a boomer. And look, and boomers are living longer. That's the other piece. That's the other stressor that's out there on our economy, is that not only are boomers living longer, boomers are living a better quality life, right?
There you go.
In terms of other people when they get to a certain age. My mama is not a boomer. No, my mom. No, my mom. No.
And she turned 90, didn't she?
She turned 90. Yeah, my mom is that part of the great generation. Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's part of that great generation. So, but when you look at it, my mother's 90. And my mother is not a drain on the support system. She's in relatively good health. She's 90.
There you go.
So we're dealing with that. And then the millennials are now the largest group. Okay. And so they're coming into their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And so there's all these things. Then a number of people who are even paying into Social Security, right? That's the other piece of it, based on the number of people who are receiving Social Security. But I understand that. And so when people sit up and look, the Republicans weren't down with Social Security in 1935. They have been waging a war for over 90 years trying to get rid of or curtailing Social Security. They weren't down with Medicare in 1965, right? And they certainly was not down with the Affordable Care Act and in 2009, 2010.
That's
so, and again, and all these pieces of legislation were passed by Democrats.
That's right.
That little fact.
Yep. Well, you know what? I got a history lesson from you as a reminder. I had to remind certain, and I'm sitting up here trying to write them down. Can't get them down fast enough, but I'll go back and look up the date. So when I'm talking to somebody, I know what I'm talking about. Rather than, I won't make this comment about one of your former callers, but in some days I'm not appreciative of when you don't have your facts straight. And I always remind, even myself, if I don't have my facts straight, let me not open my mouth and put my foot in it. And about the burnt toast and coffee on Saturday, I never can get in because of the hundreds of listeners, people that are really into Devo. But I enjoy, listening to people talk about their relatives and stuff when they mention when he gives them enough time to say who they want to say something nice to today.
I appreciate
but
you.
I never can get in because all them other people miss Gladys too. So
Devo,
when I can
let me thank
names.
you, man, for the shout outs, and I appreciate that because what are these called, dedications, right?
No, that's a burnt toast and coffee check-in.
Coffee.
Okay, but it's kind of like almost like the old.
Right.
I want to dedicate this song to my beautiful.
Actually, I stipulate before we go into it, it's not time for requests or dedications.
Okay.
One call per household and/or car, and then make sure you listen by way of your phone and not by way of your radio. We just kind of stipulate that, and then from there it's a free for all. That's what it turns into.
We love you, Robert.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Yeah, it never goes right, man. Miss Gladys, she up and died on me. So
really,
yeah, she died. So now we have another young lady who's not that good. She's not good at all. Who's singing happy birthday to everybody, but somebody had to do it. So yeah, Chantel, what are the names? Somebody Perry, Charmaine Perry. She's not that good. But we just roll on, Show must go on.
Oh, you know what? And I love. I used to hear it. I don't know if Sister Sharon does it, but I know Tawana Carrington, the Gospel Songbird at WGOB. I used to love when people call in. She'd have them call in. Oh Lord, and who they be praying for.
Yeah, Sharon does something similar to that. They call and do birthday shout outs, and then she has another segment where they call in after Sunday when she comes back.
Okay.
They call and tell what their pastor preached about.
Oh, okay.
And whether he was good or not.
Ooh.
I never heard nobody say he wasn't good. They always say, "Oh, my pastor really preached today." Well, what he preach about? I can't tell you that part. I don't remember, but he just preached. He preached good.
Like we was talking to the sister yesterday. Yeah, when you got an issue with the issue, like, and they call and say, "Yeah, well, the pastor this morning." Oh,
when he the pastor,
he done got in your video this morning. Oh, okay. Caller, welcome to the program. I want to send this out to Nowhere Institutional Full Gospel Church of the Firstborn. Good morning. Good morning.
Hang on, Keith. I'm trying to take you off the speaker.
Okay.
Chief, I just got one thing to say that nobody's brought up in a long time.
What's that?
Where's their medical plan?
Whose medical plan?
The Republican Party.
Oh, I got it for you. You want to hear it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You want to hear it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get all of it?
You get all of it? I don't know how to make that. Hey, Keith, I don't know how to make the cricket sound.
Did you get? That's the entire plan. You want me to do it again? Hold on, here it is. Okay, there you go. That's the whole plan.
That's my whole point, man. It's just like, come on with the ridiculous, man. It's Saturday. That should be your word for next week. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday. It's, you know what it is? It's just weird. It's just weird. It's like, dude, look, let me say something to folks about the Affordable Care Plan. And then Obama was really funny. He said, "What, y'all don't call it Obamacare anymore?"
That made me start laughing. He said it must be good because y'all ain't calling it that no more.
Not calling Obamacare anymore.
I was rolling laughing. You know what really made me laugh, Keith? When he did the hand gesture, I said, I wonder how many people got that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing was his advisors told him, don't say Obamacare. Dude, out in the heartland, they don't think Obamacare is a good thing. So don't say Obamacare. But he kept saying, no, I'm going to call it Obamacare. I'm going to own it. And so now we don't call it Obamacare anymore. It's the Affordable Care Act. So, because here's the interesting thing. Here's this other little thing when you go in and you go in and you break down the numbers. Surprisingly, Barack Obama enjoyed a certain level of success that a lot of Democrats didn't in some of these red states like West Virginia, like parts of Ohio, because they understood clearly that, especially the Affordable Care Act, because what the Affordable Care Act did was it put health clinics in these neighborhoods that had been underserved, and it did two things. It provided health care. It also provided employment. And so people in the area, I was watching this documentary on hillbillies, and these some older white gentlemen were sitting talking, and one guy was getting ready to go into Obama. The other white dude go he said, no, you're wrong on that. He said Obama wasn't a bad president at all. So we'll see. You want to do the survey, man?
You already know the answers.
No, I don't. And I just created a question for you at the end. So let's see if I don't know if I know that one. So how would you describe your voting participation? Very likely to vote in most elections, likely to vote in most elections. Maybe we'll vote in the next election, will not vote.
Will not vote.
Okay. What was the first? You know, it was something I was supposed to do today.
Keith, as soon as I get the envelope in the mail, it's going out the same day.
I know. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
There's
no
two
2
things
days
I'm
later, it's going
anticipating
out the
doing in
same
September:
day.
getting my COVID vaccination and getting my ballot. Those are the two things I'm looking for in September. I'm just as soon as I get in. All right. What are some of the influences or factors that impact who you might support in an election? Policies, personality of the candidates, good character, ethnicity, gender, religion of the candidates, or some other?
Policy and good character.
Okay, I'm gonna get controversial in this piece. All right. How would you describe your political affiliation? Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other?
Democrat.
Okay. For you, what is the most important issue in the upcoming presidential election? The economy, immigration, abortion, crime, public safety, taxes, Social Security / Medicare, or some other issue?
Well, I'm gonna have to say since I'm on it, like the other guy said, Social Security, Medicare, since I pay it for it, and it just went up again.
Man.
I'm like, every year it goes up higher. But you know what, Keith? Thank God that my wife that worked at Miller Brewing Company, because they got a plan, Keith. I get my money back every month.
Oh, we do too.
Oh,
we do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a bet. You know,
it was interesting
And,
in terms of how I ended up doing. Well, first of all, just lost all ambition. So I was able to stay on the job for 25 years. But the other piece of it was I never thought about as much what I gave up in terms of salary. I benefited from in long-term benefits.
My dad, once Slits, I heard y'all talking about Slits earlier.
Right.
And my dad had worked for Slits until they closed down. They told him not to go on strike, or they were going to close the company down, and they went on strike. And guess what? They closed the company down.
Mm-hmm.
He started working for, I want to think it was, and Keith might be listening, I think it was for Warner Cable back in the day.
Right.
And he took a lower salary for the benefits.
Right.
So benefits mean a lot, medical and all that kind of stuff, and you got to have that stuff. But whatever me say, I'm opposite of that. So,
well, he did bring something up. What happens after we die?
Who said that?
Meech. He brought it up. What happens after we die?
Well, I hope I'm going to heaven.
Okay.
That's why I hope I'm going. It might be a flip of the coin, as you say, Keith. Roll that bean footage.
There you go, right? It'd be like, who
might be in trouble.
I told somebody one time, I said, you know what? They're gonna bury you face down so you can see where you're going.
So I'm kind of hoping God have, what he say, that grace and mercy on me, because that bean footage ain't too good.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
You listen to Community Voice. We're up on the last break of the program. We'll be right back.
Urban Vibes, community conversation where we all have a seat at the table. Join the conversation every first Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. with me, Karen Dotson, from the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. We will discuss health issues affecting Black and Brown communities and share how health research can help find solutions in the future. Learn from special guests each month, and please join us at the table for real conversation every first Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at 860 WNOV and 106.5 FM.
Barigani, this is the voice of the community, found on WNOV 860 AM, W293CX 106.5 FM. I'm Kwaku Asi, better known as the Blacksmith, Milwaukee's favorite psychologist, host of Nayumbu Upendo. This show will air every Wednesday from 11 to 12, where we will talk on all things mental health. When you need a healing for your mind, body, and soul, come to Nayumbu Upendo.
You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back as we wind up another program. I thought it was very interesting, and this would have been the controversial piece. Now, I've argued with people about this, and they told me that it was policy. But there's a part of me that's thinking and believing that ethnicity had a little bit to do with why some people voted for Barack Obama. I'm just putting it out there. I know it's controversial. You know, people voted for Barack Obama for his policies, even though most people could not tell me any policies that he did other than the Affordable Care Act and then even then. So, look, let's be honest, y'all. There are white people who vote for white people just because they're white. And there are black people who vote for black people just because they're black. And there are Hispanic people who vote for Hispanic people just because they're Hispanic. Part of democracy. Let me thank Debo. Oh, man, we used to do that on Friday. Oh. Let me thank Carvey. Michelle, thank you. Thank you all, and all you folks who've been part of the People's Poll today. And let me thank you for being part of the program. The good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.